What if you only had 1 year left to live? What would you dedicate your time to? I would create a game. I learned to program and create 3D art at a very young age. I was about 13 years old. It was a whole new world that dragged me in. In the beginning, I was learning a lot. It was so much fun and I was evolving as an artist. I learned how to put textures on models and I created simple objects, like a computer screen or a bottle. I was in a careless creative flow. It was like a honeymoon between me and the 3D software. I felt like a really cool 3D artist, except I wasn't. Reality hit, and I was about to smash into a giant wall. I wanted to take the next step and learn how to create characters. It was incredibly hard, and back then there was no YouTube tutorials. There was only written text tutorials. I struggled with it for years and only progressed a little bit. I often gave up and then tried again with a new idea months later. Today, 2 decades later, I finally learned it. I created characters for different projects and it was amazing. But I still have a big box with failed projects. I keep them buried in my mind and I try to forget them because they remind me of the failure that I once been. I underestimated the projects and overestimated my own skills. The ideas kept spinning out of control and I kept adding to them because that's the fun part, right? The perfect balance somewhere is hidden in my mind. When I hit the perfect scope for a project and are able to keep the created juices flowing. I haven't found that project yet though. Last January, I worked on a new project. It was a simplified fighting game with random generated characters and permadeath. I liked a lot about this project, except the game genre, which is basically the whole game. I decided to take a step back and ask myself the question, if I could only make one more game, should it be this fighting game? And no, it shouldn't. I'm not sick and I'm not dying, but it's important to set things into perspective and work on something you are really excited about. There's one game genre that I love above any other genre. It's first-person shooters. It's also a type of game that I never created before. At the same time, I won't be able to make a new Half-Life game. I somehow need to simplify it and make a niche game focusing on replayability and a few core features. It's almost an art form knowing when to quit a project and knowing when to keep grinding. I just wasn't feeling the fighting game, so I threw it in my mental box of failed projects. I did, however, learn a lot, and my excitement about random generation is still something I will carry over to the new project. I'm throwing out about 150 hours of work and starting a new project, which I'm also documenting here on YouTube. There's a lot on the line. I don't think the time is wasted on my earlier project, and I do believe if you take in the lessons, it's never wasted. On the other hand, it's easy to jump from project to project without finishing anything. I left the fighting game behind after I finished the initial prototype, because I knew then it was not the right project. I might do the same with this new project. That's why it's scary to tell people about it. I'm not sure what exactly the game is, but I will let you know once I know. I'm working on this project in my spare time, so it's also very limited what I can develop. Time will tell how this adventure unfolds. I did get really close to developing a first-person shooter. I made a first-person puzzle game where a robot would make you do stupid shit. I also made a first-person poking game where you would poke fish and they would explode. I never made a first-person shooter game, and it's about time. Like or dislike the video, and gamers, I'll see you in the next video.